Hi Year 8, it's week 5 of online learning and this is lesson 1. It's still on the topic of travel and holidays, and that's the sort of thing we'll be doing today. So to start with, please, can you in your books write the date and the title? The date is the day you're doing the task rather than the date on the screen here. That's the day I'm recording it. Your title, wait for that to go away, is Un viaje estupendo. Un viaje estupendo, which means an amazing journey. So there's your title, Un viaje estupendo. Write the date as well, underline it with a ruler, and when you're ready, then look at the starter. So what I want you to do as a starter is look back in your exercise book and find 3 examples when you used the preterite tense, the present tense, and the near future tense. You've got 3 minutes to do that, so just leaf through your book, find 3 preterite, 3 present, 3 near future, and if you have any time, write 3 time expressions, 1 each for preterite, 1 for present, 1 for near future. Off you go. We'll give you 4 minutes, so pause the video for 4 minutes. Do that quick as you can. When you're ready, come back and resume the video. Okay, so I'm assuming you've paused, you've done the work and you're now resuming. So the sorts of examples, I can't tell what you've got in your book because I can't see it, but the sort of things you might have written down for the preterite. You may have found fui, which we did when we started doing this topic. Fui a España, we had the verbs ir and ser in the preterite tense. So fui, visité, you might have written down, descansé. You will have all sorts of other things that you wrote. And that you will find in your exercise book. Those are 3 examples. Examples of present tenses, it might be voy, it may be me llamo, maybe tengo. It could be visito, leo, escucho, all sorts of things. But those are the present tenses you may have used. And the near future, whatever examples you've used, you need to get the structure right. So voy plus a plus ir is I'm going to go. Vamos plus a plus jugar is we're going to play. Va plus a plus escuchar is he or she is going to listen. And you need to remember the near future tense is the part of ir in the present tense. So either voy, vas, va, vamos, vais, or van, plus a plus an infinitive. And the infinitive is the part of the verb that ends normally in ar, er, or ir. Okay, if you did the challenge, then really well done. You may have got, I've given you some examples here of time expressions talking about the past. Ayer, el año pasado, la semana pasada, anteayer. For present, you might have had hoy, normalmente, todos los días. The future, mañana, la semana que viene, el año próximo would have been great examples. So if you've got any of those, then really well done. Okay, so that's getting your brains in gear and making you think about the verbs you're going to be using this lesson. Note from the beginning, we've got 3 tenses, past, present, future, preterite, present, near future. So this is going to be the sort of level work you need to get the grades that you want to go for, okay? To show all the stuff that you can do using 3 tenses together. So I'm trying to move on. Here we go. This is what we're doing this week. Looking at vocab and grammar learnt this half term. You're going to practice writing and speaking and then set some targets on how to improve further. We always need to do that. You always need to think, right, what can I do to improve how I've worked so far? Okay, so there's a bit of a writing task to start with, please. You need to write out this, or copy out this table, preterite, present, near future, and I want you please to put in the verbs or the phrases into this grid in the right column. Okay, so you need to pause here for quite a few minutes. It'll take you a while to do this. It's quite a big writing task. So copy the grid and then categorize those words. Okay, so ayer, for example, we just saw means yesterday, so that would go in the preterite tense. Right, so pause the video, do the task. When you're ready, then resume the video. Okay, so we're assuming you've resumed the video because you've done the task, so let's see if we can get the same things. You should have in the preterite, fui de excursión, in the present hoy, near future, mañana, fui a España. Let's just rather than read all these out. These are in an odd order. You may not have them in the same order because they were muddled up on the page, but you should have them in the right columns. I think that is it. Yes, I went too far. Sorry, hang on. So these are all the pressure ones. So please check and correct your work. If you forgot that ayer meant yesterday and you put it over in the near future, for example, make sure you understand why it should be in that column. So red pen correction, please, to show me that you've read your work through and you understand the tenses involved. Past, present, future. Okay. And if you did this and you thought, oh, I can't remember what este verano is, then look it up. But it actually means this summer. So you'd be saying, this summer I'm going to go to. Okay, so once you've checked and corrected that, move on. And it's a reading task first now, please. So here's a copy of a reading text from the textbook. 3 people talking about their holidays, Paco, Natalia, and James. And what you need to do is read the text and then match the paragraphs with the pictures below. So you've got picture 1, picture 2, picture 3. Here we are, 1, 2, 3. Who's speaking? 1 is actually quite easy because there's only 1 girl. So it's not a very well-designed exercise, but read through, please, and you will have to decide between the 2 boys there. All right, so I'm going to pause the video to do the task. When you're ready, move on. Okay, so here's the answers. James was picture number 1. Here he is. He's sitting at home. He's studying hard. He's got his uniform on, so he's obviously into his studies. He's doing yoga in that picture. And that matched up with, where is he? James. Here we are. I don't know if that's actually very, is that right? Yes, that is right, isn't it? He does his homework. He studies a lot. And he did yoga. There we are. There's yoga mentioned. The second one is Paco. He's talking about going on holiday with his friends, playing football on the beach. That's this one. And he's painting. Here's that verb, pinte mucho. And therefore Natalia is this one. And if they'd all been boys or girls, it would have been a better designed exercise. But if it's Natalia, she's saying here, going shopping, and going on excursions, which is what she's doing there. She's looking at monuments. Okay, so again, check and correct your work. When you're ready, move on. Okay, now we're still with the same text, and I want you to really look at this in detail. It's another grid. You're writing in English, and you are going to include all the activities they do normally and all they did last year. So you've got name, normally, last year, and then the 1, 2, 3. So you can do them whichever order you like. So Paco, Natalia, James, what they do normally, what they did last year. So we've highlighted the verbs here. The red or the orangey verbs are present. The green ones are preterite. So those are the green ones are going to be the activities you see in this column. Now this will take you a while. Copy the grid out, leave yourself plenty of room. There's quite a lot to write. And when you're ready, move on. Okay, so this is what you should have got. I told you this was quite a big task. So you've had 2 quite hefty tasks in this lesson. So there's lots of times when the video will have been paused while you were doing the work. And hopefully you've got all these details. So what I want you to do is to look carefully here and add in anything that you didn't get in red pen, so you can see what you missed. If you got something that's not there by mistake, then annotate that as well. So you can see by the amount of red pen you use, you can see how you're doing in the task. So Paco normally goes to Dominican Republic with friends by plane, plays football on the beach, goes out in the evening with friends, goes to a cafe, the arcade. Arcade was Salon Recreativo. You saw that quite a few weeks ago, actually, when you talked about going out and to the disco. Last year, he went to Portugal with friends, went by train and coach. He painted, listened to music, rested, had a cool time. Natalia normally goes to Milan with her family by car. She goes shopping, to the hairdresser and the sauna, and sends messages to friends. Last year, though, she went to Cuba with her brother. She went by plane. They rode bikes, danced salsa, went on interesting trips, played football on the beach, and had a great time. And James This was the one who had pictures of him studying. He doesn't normally go on holiday. He stays at home, plays on his computer, chats online, sends messages, does homework and studies a lot. Last year, though, he went to Spain to the beach. He had a great time. He rested, did yoga and sunbathed. He went with his brother and he went by plane. I haven't added up how many bits of information there are there. There's a lot. So just sort of self-assessment. Think about how much did I understand? Could I have got more, or did I get it all? Did I get anything confused because I was muddled up with the verbs or the tenses? Okay, if you understood the tenses well, then you'll have done well in this. Okay, so once you've done that and corrected it, you can then move on. Okay, and this is a finishing activity here, please. See, what we'd normally do is this a sad noughts and crosses, isn't it? Because we're not playing it with anyone else. Normally we'd play this in class and it would be something you play with your neighbour, but we can't do that. So I just want you to have a think. Who likes being at home? Who likes painting? Who has no siblings? Who's a good student? Who likes dancing? Who doesn't text much? Who changes hairstyle? Who likes being with friends? And who relaxed on holiday? So have a think about these and see how many of you can get without looking back. How many of these can you remember? Or maybe just look back at the reading to check. You can go back in the video to find that reading we looked at, find the answers, and then write them in on a sort of a grid in your exercise book, a sort of noughts and crosses grid, and see how many you get right. When you are ready, these are the answers. So James likes being at home. Likes painting is Paco. Has no siblings that we know of anyway, is Paco again, because both Natalia and James talk about their brother. Who's a good student? That's James as well. He studies a lot. Who likes dancing? That was Natalia. Well done, because she dances salsa with her brother on holiday. Who doesn't text much? That was Paco, I think. Yes, he didn't talk about texting. Both Natalia and James talked about it quite a lot. Who goes to the hairdresser on holiday and comes back with a new hairstyle? That is also Natalia. Who likes being with his friends? Given it's a he there, it is Paco again, I think. He goes on holiday with his friends all the time. And who relaxed on holiday? That was James. Okay, so that was just a quick recap to see how much you remembered. You've done a lot of work today, so well done. I think let's just have a look at the next slide. So we have revised grammar and vocab learnt this half term, vocabulary for the holidays and all 3 tenses. We haven't done any writing or speaking today. We've done a lot of reading. You'll do the other ones later in the week. But for the moment, thank you very much indeed, Year 8. That's lesson 1, and I will see you in the next lesson. Adios.